Shadow Day. Now, I've got Christian Brandenberry up there, but also Stan's very involved with this. So, Stan, I'm sorry I left you off on the slide, but appreciate all the work that you guys have done. Thank you for all of you guys who have hosted this morning. So, without further ado, Christian, come on up and let's hear what you got for Shadow Day today.
Good afternoon. I was going to start off by saying my name is Christian Brandenberry, and I shadowed with Dr. Dave Williams today because I used to get made fun of because I look so young all the time. So, but I'm excited to be up here and talking about Shadow Day again. As we all know, in March of 2020, the world pretty much so shut down due to COVID, and so it's been a couple years since we were able to have this event again. So I'm excited. I first want to thank all the businesses that that volunteered to be a part of Shadow Day, that opened up their doors and gave their time to allow these students to come in and do that. I would like to thank the faculty that's with the schools that helped me set up this. And I want to go ahead and introduce them now. When you hear your name, please stand up so you can be recognized. From Davidson Davie Community College, we have Jill Story and Sarah Wingfield. From East Davidson High School, we have Christy Hiller. From Ledford, we have Lynn Scott. From Thomasville High School, we have Lakia Ingram. And from Oak Grove High School, we have Lisa Crabb and Heather Pryor. Thanks again for all your help with getting this organized and put together. And then finally, I would like to thank the students. To take the time out of their days at school to go shadow the businesses and hopefully learn a little bit more about things that they're interested in. So at this time, what I want to do is, I think Jared, you're going to help me with microphones. We're going to go from table to table and let the students introduce themselves. When you introduce yourself, obviously give us your name, tell us what school you go to, tell us where you shadowed today, and maybe a few things that you have planned for the future.
Who's going first? We'll start right here. You're up.
My name is Alice Rackman. I go to Ledford High School and I'm Josh with Brandenberry and Associates, and I want to be performance.
My name is Regan Michael. I shadowed Dr. Jacobson, and I want to be a veterinarian.
Claudia Friesler, I'm German, and this is Davidson Davie Community College, and I enjoy it, and to stay by Dr. Jackson. Thank you. It was a great experience.
Here in State, and I want to be civil.
Hi, my name is Julie Thayer, and I also shadow with Gary Flowers. I want to study criminal justice, and I want to be a criminal lawyer.
Hey, if y'all can, tell us what school you're with, right? Also, if you already have plans for after high school, in addition to where you were today. Got all that? Cool, no pressure.
Hi, my name is Andrea Sosa. I'm from Guatemala. I've been here in the United States 7 years ago, and today I'm shadowing with Sam at Baptist Children's Home. In the future, maybe I want to be a teacher, so thank you.
My name is Brady Green. I go to Davidson Community College. Today I shadowed for 8 to 12 years.
I'm Ella Bruce. I'm from East Davidson High School, and I'm shadowing Chief Myers today at the Thomasville Fire Department. And after high school, I plan on being a career fireman.
My name is Katie Lindley, and I go to East Davidson, and I shadowed with Jane Murphy, and I was at Thomasville Medical Center, and I'm hoping to be a pediatric nurse.
Hi, my name is Madison Kano. I go to Lethbridge High School, and I shadowed with Miss Kim Cecil at Crescent Ford. And after high school, I want to do marketing and go into international business.
Hi, I'm Caleb Mosley. I go to Lethbridge High School and I shadowed Tim Connors at a bank today.
Hey y'all, my name's Chase. I go to Grove High School. Today I was looking to shadow under Miss Cecil today. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with my life. Whatever I do, hopefully the military will pay for it.
Hi, my name is Colin Banks. I had the privilege of shadowing Wesley Fisher today through his bank. I also go to Oak Grove High School, and I plan on going into the accounting field after I graduate.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rosano. I shadow in the Thomasville Medical Center. I'm Little Lefford, and I want to become a nurse practitioner.
I am Wanda Harrison, and I go to high school, and I shadow Nova Health, and I'm undecided.
My name is Desai Everhart, and I shadow Jane Murphy at Novant Health, and I'm undecided what I want to do.
My name is Linda Lisby. I go to Oak Grove High School as well, and I shadow with Jane Murphy at Novant Health, and I just want to be a pediatrician.
Hello, my name is Angela Myers, and I shadow Brad at Davidson Hospital, and I go to school at Davidson County Community College, and I want to be a counselor when I'm done.
Hi, I'm Olivia, and I shadowed at Fancy Finds with Kim, and I go to East Davidson High School, and I want to be a real estate agent and an interior designer.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I go to East Davidson. I also studied internship. Shadowed under Miss Kim today at Fancy Finds, and I want to study something involving art after high school.
Is that everybody? We miss. Okay. She tried to sneak by.
Hi, my name is Ariana, and I go to Thomasville High School, and I shadow Dr. Smith back there. Oh, and I want to major in pre-med.
Again, I just want to thank everybody for making this Shadow Day a success. Our speaker that we have today really needs no introduction. I know when I called Stan, I know he was the perfect guy to do a speech for today that would be motivational, inspirational. I always enjoy hearing you speak, and I know everybody here does as well. So please give a hand to Stan Stiers.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you. Very kind. Let me just add my welcome to the shadows here today. Hope it's been a good morning for you. Hope you've learned a lot. I apologize to you though for taking you away from the school cafeteria. I tried to get some tater tots and pizza for you, but they couldn't work it out today. But you had to go through the line here. But it's a good thing that what you've decided to do here today. Take the opportunity to look at a dentist office or an accountant or a pediatrician's office, you sort of getting a running start towards a career to help you plan your future. And that's what I want to explore with you just for a few minutes today, your future. I've been very fortunate. I've had the opportunity to see a bunch of young people grow up and a few who never did, including a few Rotarians, by the way. But I've always been interested in what enables somebody to be successful, to have a good life. And we can come up with some qualities that make people successful, can't we? It helps to have a good brain, right? It helps to come from a strong family, to have good study habits, to be curious, to love to read, to have a great work ethic. I mean, those are qualities you'll find in successful students and successful adults. But, you know, we've all seen people who were not the ones with the highest IQ, but had the highest GPA, who did not receive a scholarship to college, but went on and had a great GPA, who came from a tough family situation, but had great character. And some Kelly Clarkson had a song a couple of years ago that said something like, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." And there's a lot of truth in that. The dictionary defines resilient as springing back, returning to original position after being stretched or bent, recovering readily from adversity. How many of you know people like that? People who are resilient? You heads nodding. I bet there's more of you that know than you nodding here. It's like my old high school coach had a saying. He said, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I love the story of old Randy Johnson. I've told it some of you here before, but it won't hurt you to hear it again. Randy Johnson was a mediocre backup quarterback for Oklahoma State University back in the day. He was also President Lyndon Johnson's nephew. And in the last game of the season, Oklahoma State was playing their arch rival, Oklahoma. Oklahoma was, back in those days, a great team. And they were favored over Oklahoma State, who really were not very good, to tell you the truth. But on that day, it was raining cats and dogs on that Saturday. The field was a muddy mess, and the game was closer than anybody expected because neither team could get any offense going in the mire, in the mud. But as the clock wound down, Oklahoma State had the ball inside their own 10-yard line, down by 6, no hope of winning. And so in a goodwill gesture, the Oklahoma State coach put in his seniors. Last game, last play of the game. And one of those seniors was Randy Johnson, who was a third-string quarterback. And the coach told Randy, said, just call whatever play you want. You're not, you know, he's thinking we're 90 yards away with zero chance of scoring. And so the team huddled up, and to his teammates' surprise, Randy called play 13. Now, it was a trick play. It had never been used in a game. And the reason it never used it in the game because it never worked even in practice. So Randy calls play 13, and it worked. Oklahoma State scored off a 90-yard run, kicked the extra point, and won the game by 1 point. The fans went wild. They were carrying the players off the field on their shoulders. And as they were running off the field, the coach hauled to Randy and said, "Hey, Randy, why in the world did you ever call play 13? And Randy said, "Well, coach, we're in the huddle. I looked over and I saw old Harry with tears running down his cheeks. It was his last game and we were losing. And I saw that big 8 on his jersey. And then I looked over at Ralph and tears were running down his jersey, his cheeks too. And I saw a big 7 on his jersey. And so I added up 8 and 7 and called play 13. Coach hauled out, "Randy, 8 and 7 don't add up to 13. Randy thought for a minute and said, "You're right, Coach. And if I had been as smart as you, we would have lost the game." Well, we never know how things are going to turn out, do we? We have challenges that we face. The key to working through those challenges in order to pursue a worthy goal is what we're talking about here today. Each and every day, each of us faces adversity from time to time. It seems like some folks face a lot of adversity, don't they? Illness, death of people close to us, financial problems, trouble with the law, getting messed up with alcohol or drugs. Good girlfriend, breaks up with us. A lot of challenges out there. And sometimes those challenges snowball on us with several difficult circumstances piling up on us at one time. It can beat us up and it can wear us down. But we all know people who are amazingly resilient, who take a licking, but keep on ticking, as the old commercial used to say. They almost seem to thrive on adversity. During my time at the high school and then later at the Y, I've seen young people overcome some real challenges and grow into fine adults. We can all name friends that when the going gets tough, they got going. So how do you and I keep up against the odds that are against us? And part of that answer is resiliency. The ability to do well in the face of adversity. That doesn't mean we don't experience difficulty, we don't feel distress, we don't feel emotional pain or sadness. In fact, the road to becoming resilient is likely to involve a lot of emotional distress along the way. But here's the good news. Resilience is not a trait that people either have or don't have, but it can be learned or developed by any of us. And I say that especially to the shadows in here today. The people who study these things say the primary factor that contributes to resilience is having caring and supportive relationships, both within and outside the family. The kind of relationships that create love and trust, that provide good role models, that offer us encouragement. But I've seen a lot of young people who didn't have that family support. Sometimes people had to develop the resilience within themselves. And these young people seem to share a common trait. That is that no matter how challenging the life circumstances, they have a burning desire, an aspiration, if you will, for something better. Developing resilience is a personal journey, and we each travel it in different ways. We don't all react the same way to stressful events. What works for you may not work for me. But there are some ways that all of us can build resilience in our lives. And I've got 10 real quick ones I just want to share with you. And I got a cheat sheet on those tables right there, particularly if you shadow people. If you're a visual learner, you want to have it where you can stare at it, as we talk about it. That may help you let it sink in a little bit. The first thing that helps you build resilience is making connections. Good relationships with close family members, good friends are so important at any age. When we experience tough times, we need help. We often try to tough it out, to suck it up, to go it alone. But having folks who care about us and will listen to us can help us get through tough times and then bounce back afterwards. So make connections. The second thing is avoid seeing a crisis as this insurmountable problem. We can't change the fact that bad things happen to us, but we can change how we respond to those bad things. And it helps to realize that most of our problems are only temporary, and the future can and will be better. Somebody was talking about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The only trouble was it was an oncoming train. Well, it's not necessarily always a light at the end of the tunnel that's a train. by persevering, by staying steady, by persisting, while believing and trusting in our ability to eventually accomplish the task at hand, can see us through. The third thing that builds resilience is accept the fact that change is part of living. That change is part of living. Things change. As someone, I love the saying, someone said, we can never step in the same river twice because the river is constantly changing. And our lives are just like that river, aren't they? Constant change. We have to come to grips with the fact that some of our hopes and goals are no longer attainable because of changing circumstances. Once we acknowledge that there's some circumstances that we can't really alter, then it frees us up to focus on the things that we can do something about. Change, part of our lives. The fourth thing is do something. Do something. Move towards your goal. When things are going poorly, we can usually develop some realistic goals to make the situation better. Sometimes it's just the little things that we do that help us accomplish big things when it's all said and done, and keep us moving in a positive direction. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Number 5 is, once we get going, be decisive about it. One thing I learned is that when we have problems, we can't wish them away. They ain't going nowhere because we wish they would. Sometimes what things have a way of working themselves out, but we can't always count on that. The old saying is, about an inch is a cinch, but about a yard is hard. Taking small bites, taking small steps will enable us to do something in a decisive way. There's something about accomplishing a task that feels good, and it encourages us that we can accomplish the next goal as well. Nike would say, just do it. Number 6, look for opportunities to learn and grow. You know, sometimes we learn about ourselves and find that we grow quite a bit because we went through a struggle, didn't we? How many of us have found strength we didn't know we had? We did accomplish things we didn't know we could. We developed new strengths after going through a difficult stretch. You know, sometimes it's when we feel the most vulnerable that we find these strengths. It sounds a little crazy, but I bet a lot of you know what I'm talking about because you've had those experiences. You didn't think you ever could, but you did. Rough weather makes for strong timber. Number 7, and this is a big one, nurture a positive view of yourself. One thing leads to another. And when we come through a storm, we're a little better prepared to weather the next storm. You know, just think about it when you were starting out as a kid, learning how to ride a bike. How many times did you fall and crash? Raise your hand if you did. Yeah, most everybody. If you rode a bike, you did. Then what happened was you started to get the hang of it, but you were a little wobbly going down the road. You know, you were shimmying a little bit there. Your daddy was running behind you. Whoa, hang on there, stay with it. But pretty soon you start pedaling and your balance kicks in and you're riding smoothly down the road. And the next thing you know, you're a regular daredevil riding down with, you know, hands off the steering wheel, the handlebars, because you become so good at it. You start out scared to death, but by mastering your balance and your biking skills, you become a regular daredevil. Life is like riding a bicycle sometimes. Number 8, and this is a biggie, it helps to keep things in perspective. You know, most of our problems aren't nearly as severe as we think they are. It's like somebody said, you wouldn't worry nearly as much about other people talking about you if you knew how rarely they did. How many times have we gone to bed at night with a 1,000-pound gorilla in our head only to find out by the next morning it had shrunk to a little chimpanzee when you got down to the real facts of it. We all tend to inflate our problems because they're our problems. You know, they got to be serious if they're our problems. And so they take on greater importance in our own minds. Often, but when we take a long view of difficult circumstances, we can avoid blowing them out of proportion and they become more manageable. Number 9, it helps to maintain a hopeful outlook. Have you ever noticed that people who expect good things to happen in their lives often have a lot of good things happen in their lives? Maybe that's one of those chicken and egg things. We'll never know the truth of it, but because we expect them, good things happen, or because good things happen, we come to expect them. It doesn't make any difference which comes first, but it does seem to occur more often than not. Call it possibility thinking, whatever you want to. Maybe it's simply not talking ourselves out of achieving something that we're perfectly capable of achieving if we just put our minds to it. And then number 10, when we're stressed out, and we will be stressed out, we need to learn to take care of ourselves. The old 7th habit, you know, sharpen the saw. If you're going to do some heavy sawing, it pays off to keep your saw sharp. The physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual are all interconnected. And finding ways to relax and do things that we enjoy can help us keep our mind, body, and spirit strong enough to withstand the storm. Finally, I just leave you with this. Adversity, challenges, and disappointments are the raw material of our personal growth. As anybody who's truly good at anything will tell you, that it takes hard work and practice and repetition, persistence, and make them great. It wasn't the shoes that made Michael Jordan great. It was the fact that he came to practice early, he stayed late, and he outworked everybody else. When Roy McIlroy and Jordan Spieth leave the golf course after a round, where do they go? They go to the practice ring. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison as a political prisoner before he became president of South Africa. And as Abraham Lincoln became maybe our greatest president, this was his foundation. You may have heard this before. At age 7, his father declared bankruptcy and Abraham had to move out of his home and go to work full time. Age 7. At age 9, his mother died. At age 22, he was fired as a clerk. At age 23, he went into a partnership and his partner died, left Lincoln with the debt. At age 28, after 4 years of dating, he asked a girl to marry him and she said no. At age 28 and 36, he ran for Congress and lost both times. At age 37, they finally got married and was elected to Congress. At age 41, he and his wife lost a 4-year-old son. At 45, he ran for the Senate and lost. At 47, he ran for vice presidency and lost. At 49, he ran again for the Senate and he lost again. And at 51, he was elected president of the United States. He experienced the most challenging presidency of history. And in the end, his service cost him his life. When we look at Lincoln's life, there's an example of rough weather makes great timber. I just close with this. The Greek word for endurance is hupomone, which literally translated into English means hang in there, no matter what. That's my wish for you shadow guys right here today. Hupomone, hang in there, and good luck.
Well, Stan, Mr. Stiers, coach, teacher, leader, I don't know how to follow that. But thank you for your sincerity in this opportunity to not only speak to the shadow folks, but you also have a way to always speak to me and everyone else in this room. So thank you for that. Great words. I want to thank again the Rotarians who took the time out this morning to be hosts for these young folks. I want to thank the counselors and other liaisons that the schools represented today. Thank you not only for helping us with this important day, an opportunity for the young people, but also for what you do every day, the important, difficult work. Thank you. Please know that us as the Thomasville Rotary Club think about you often. And then, of course, young students, thank you for taking the time today. And I hope that you had a good time. I hope that you learned some things. I hope that you made a connection with someone who's a Rotarian who believes in you as we all do. We believe in you. So thank you